Now that your tenant has been created and your terminal is linked, you can begin to configure the terminal settings. Once you have logged into eZeePOS Office, you will be greeted with the dashboard. This dashboard gives you an overview of the sales that have been made, with graphs and charts, and can be filtered by the date and location. Our first step will be to configure the main terminal settings. From the dashboard, on the top bar, click the config option. In here you will have the option for terminals. Put your mouse over this and this will give you an expanded list of options. Click the one which says ECP terminals and this will take you to the eZeePOS terminals linked to the tenant. From here, find the terminal that you wish to configure and click the configure button on the right hand side. You will now be in that specific terminal's configuration settings. Working from the top down, the first option is the terminal name. This can be configured to anything you wish, but would recommend having this as something which will identify what the terminal is. Underneath this is the Show Change dialog option. If this is ticked, when a transaction is finalised that is overtended, it will pop up telling the employee how much change is due. To the right of this is the Clerk Auto Timeout setting. This is time in seconds it will take for a clerk to auto timeout after inactivity. This is set to 300 seconds as default but can be edited by either clicking the up and down arrows or manually entering a value. Next is the back office password and the dashboard password fields. These are passwords that can be set to prevent access from these modes on the eZeePOS app unless the password has been entered. On the line below is the Enable Transaction Hold option, where if ticked it will allow for a transaction to be held on the terminal and referred back to later. To the right of this is the sort order. This is how products will be ordered within their respective groups. This can be set to either product, code or description. The final part of the top section is the default drop down, however these will not be set up yet, so we can leave them for the time being. Underneath this is a few extra options, but we'll leave these for now. Once you're done, just hit save at the top right. Now that the terminal has been configured, the next step is to create an employee, which can be used to sign on and make a transaction. To do this, from the bar at the top, click Maintenance, hover your mouse over Clerks, and then click Clerks. As this is the first time set up, there will be no clerks on this page. To create a new clerk, click the New Clerk button. This will take you to the New Clerk configuration screen. Here you can enter the clerk's name and if needed the password. You may also want to configure which price level the clerk is using, which you can do with the price level box. Underneath is the manager field, where if ticked it will set them to be a manager, and then there's a sign off at the end of sale, where if ticked it will sign them off. There's also the default drop down, but again these aren't yet set up. Once you've configured your employee, click save at the top right. The next step is creating product groups. These groups can be used to create sections in eZeePOS and can be given custom colours to differentiate between the groups. To create a group, click Maintenance on the top bar and then click Product Groups. On this screen, click the New Group button at the top left. For a basic group, you will want to give it a group ID number, a description and a POS description. You can then also give the group a colour via the foreground colour and background colour options at the bottom. To do this, simply click the Choose button and then choose a colour. Once you have the settings you want, click Save at the top right. The final stage of the initial setup is creating a product. These are what will appear on the eZeePOS app and what will be sold. To create these, from the top bar, click Maintenance, then hover over Products and then click Product Maintenance. This will take you to the product grid. To create a new product, click the New Product button at the top left of the grid. This will take you to the product creation screen. The first thing you can configure here is the product ID number. This can be entered manually, or the plus icon can be pressed, which will automatically give it an ID, which hasn't been used. Underneath this is the description and POS description fields, which is what the product is called. Below this is the product group, which is what we set up previously, and what you want to link the products to, which you can just select via the drop down box. For the prices section, 6 prices can be set per the 3 sizes. The sizes section is useful for things like a different size of the same item. For example, you might have a burger that can be a single, a double or large. You can enter the size name simply with the boxes at the top by clicking the text field and then entering the name of the size. The field to the right of the name is the amount of units that will be used when the size is used. This is normally used for stock purposes, and if it was a double burger, this would be 2 instead of 1. At the bottom, you have the actual product prices. To enter a product price, you just simply click one of the price level fields and then enter a value. There are more settings, but for the basic product setup, this is all we need. Once you're done, click Save at the top right of the screen. We have now completed the basic settings for eZeePOS. What we will need to do now is get this sent across to the eZeePOS app. Now that we're on the eZeePOS app, we want to refresh the terminal data. To do this, press the 3 stack box at the top right of the screen and press the option which says Enter Back Office. This will ask for a password. If this is the first time you're entering the back office, then you will not need to enter one. Just press OK. However, if you've set a password previously in the terminal config, enter this here and press OK. This will take you to the back office. In here, press the option which says Refresh Terminal Data. This should take a couple of seconds, and once complete, a message saying Terminal Data Update Successfully should appear on your screen. Press OK and then leave back office. If you could not see employees previously on the screen, now that we've refreshed the terminal data, they should appear here. We can now sign on, and we should be able to see the products we've added in their respective groups. Tapping a product will then sell it and add it to the transaction, so you should be able to add a couple of products and then finalise by pressing the pay button at the bottom of the screen. You can enter an amount and then press the cash key. This will finalise the transaction, and then a message box may appear saying the change due, depending on the setting you've got set in the back office.